Welcome everybody to another video of Ancient Greece Reloaded. Today we will talk about the famous King Atreus, father of Agamemnon and Menelaus and a member of the cursed line of Tantalus. By the way, if you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so as to stay tuned for upcoming videos. Overall, Atreus was one of the many sons of Pelops and Hippodamia, and therefore grandson of Tantalus. Potentially Atreus had as many as 15 siblings, but Atreus would be most closely associated with his brother Thyestes. Arguably, the life of Atreus was already cursed by the actions of his grandfather Tantalus, who had tried to serve his own son Pelops to the gods as a meal, and also the actions of Pelops himself, who had killed Myrtilus by breaking a promise to him. Nevertheless, Atreus would grow up quite happily in the kingdom of Pelops. However, the actions of his own mother Hippodamia would change everything. Pelops had fathered a son, Chrysippus, by a woman other than Hippodamia, and Chrysippus soon became the favored son of the king. Hippodamia now feared that Chrysippus would be chosen as the heir in place of one of her own sons. Hippodamia tried to convince Atreus and Thyestes to remove the half-brother. Now, some ancient writers claim that Atreus did kill Chrysippus, whilst others say he refused. Thus, Hippodamia took matters into her own hands and tried to blame Laius for the killing of Pelops' favored son. Chrysippus would live long enough though to clear Laius from the accusations, and so the blame was placed on Hippodamia, Thyestes and Atreus. The three conspirators, if Atreus and Thyestes were indeed involved in the killing, were sent into exile into the kingdom of Mycenae. The kingdom of Mycenae was ruled at that time by Sthenelus, a son of Perseus, who happened to be married to a sister of Atreus, Nicippe. Sthenelus had seized the throne when his brother Electryon had accidentally been killed by Amphitryon. In Mycenae, Atreus would marry Aerope, the daughter of King Atreus of Crete. Aerope was one of the daughters of Catreus alongside Clymene, who had been given to Nafplius to sell into slavery, so that Catreus might avoid a prophecy about his own death. Atreus would become father to three children by Aerope, Agamemnon, Menelaus and Anaxivia. Aerope though would prove not to be a faithful wife to Atreus, for the daughter of Catreus would also become the mistress of Thyestes. In the time when Atreus and Thyestes were in Mycenae, the throne would pass from Sthenelus to his own son Eurystheus, who ruled for a number of years. This is the same Eurystheus who would set Heracles his labors. Eurystheus would subsequently leave the governing of Mycenae to Atreus and Thyestes when he led his army on an expedition to kill all of the descendants of Heracles. Eurystheus though would lose his own life outside of Athens, falling in battle against the Heraclides, aka the descendants of Heracles. The death of Eurystheus left the throne of Mycenae vacant, and an oracle proclaimed that the people of Mycenae must now choose a son of Pelops as their new king. Atreus and Thyestes would compete for the throne, and Atreus, thinking to gain the favor from the gods, announced that he would sacrifice the finest of his flock to the goddess Athena. When Atreus looked amongst his flock though, he found that the finest lamb was a golden one, and now wishing to have the prized lamb for himself, decided to hide it and sacrifice an inferior lamb in its stead. Atreus gave the golden lamb to his wife Aerope, who in turn passed it on to Thyestes. Thyestes now came up with an idea of how he might be named new king of Mycenae, and suggested that whoever had possession of a golden lamb should be king. Atreus of course willingly agreed, believing that he had the golden lamp, but of course Thyestes was the son of Pelops who could produce it when called upon. Atreus though appears to have been the favored son of Pelops among the gods, for it was said that Hermes came to Atreus and told him to make a new agreement with Thyestes, and that if the sun should travel in reverse, then Atreus should be king. Thyestes, believing this to be impossible, agreed, but Zeus made it happen, and so Atreus was proclaimed king of Mycenae. Atreus now sought revenge upon his adulterous wife and his brother, who had slept with Aerope. Consequently, Thyestes was invited to a banquet, in which Atreus resorted to a similar act that caused his grandfather Tantalus eternal punishment, for Atreus now served up the son of Thyestes as a meal for his own brother. Thyestes was oblivious to this until Atreus showed his brother the uncooked fingers and toes of his own nephew. Atreus then banished Thyestes from Mycenae. Aerope herself was said to have been thrown from a cliff by Atreus. The rule of Atreus was not a prosperous one, for the land became barren due to the action of Atreus, and Atreus was forced to seek advice from the oracle of Delphi, who proclaimed that the land could only produce again if Thyestes were to return to Mycenae. At a similar time, the oracle had told Thyestes that he would have his revenge upon Atreus if he fathered a son by his own daughter Pelopia. Thus, whilst Atreus searched for Thyestes, Thyestes was in Sicyon raping his own daughter, although she did not know who her attacker was. Atreus would fail to find Thyestes, but in Sicyon he found himself a new wife, for he fell in love with Pelopia, believing her to be the daughter of King Thesprotus rather than his own niece. Atreus and Pelopia would return to Mycenae, and Pelopia would give birth to a son, Aegisthus, but this was not the son of Atreus, but was a son of Thyestes. Many years passed, Aegisthus grew into a young man, and Atreus was still searching for his brother, to fulfill the prophecy of the oracle. Thyestes would eventually be found by the sons of Atreus, Agamemnon and Menelaus, in Delphi, and taking him prisoner, the sons of Atreus brought Thyestes back to Mycenae. The oracle had said nothing about keeping Thyestes alive once he arrived back in Mycenae, and so Atreus decided to kill his own brother. Atreus ordered Aegisthus to do the deed, and so the son of Pelopia was sent to Thyestes' prison cell. Atreus' plotting would only bring about his own death though. In the prison cell, recognition would occur between Thyestes, Pelopia and Aegisthus, and so instead of killing Thyestes, his own father, Aegisthus now plotted against Atreus. Believing that his brother was dead, Atreus went down to the shoreline to make a sacrifice to the gods, while Aegisthus accompanied him. With no one else around, Aegisthus used a sword that was meant to kill Thyestes upon Atreus. Thyestes was now restored to the throne of Mycenae, and the sons of Atreus, Agamemnon and Menelaus, were sent into exile. But the Atrides returned after some years, Agamemnon reigning in Mycenae and Menelaus in Sparta, and Atreus was buried in Mycenae, along with the treasures that he and his children stored in underground chambers. Let us finish with the following saying: "Fortune helps the brave," Thucydides. That being said, remember guys to hit the like button and to subscribe to our channel, it would help us a lot. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for upcoming videos.